Chapter 2. The Sunrise of My Life's Fortune. I have completed 78 years of my life in 1989. During this long lifespan, I pursued only one aim, and that was to investigate how Siddhi, spiritual awakening, could be attained by sadhana. It occurred to me that just as several scientists devoted their entire lives in doing basic research work and had thus served mankind, it should be seriously examined whether the age-old belief that sadhana leads to siddhi is correct or not, and that this experiment should be done not on others but on myself. This idea sprang up within me when I was 10 years old and dominated my thoughts till I was 15. In the meanwhile, the only thing which is worth mentioning is that my father got my Upnayan, sacred thread ceremony, performed, and I was initiated in Gayatri mantra by his classmate Mahamana Madan Mohan Malviya. I completed my elementary education in the primary school of village, and my father taught me Sanskrit grammar on the basis of Laghu Kaumudi and Siddhant Kaumudi. I used to accompany my father on his visits to rulers of princely states to deliver religious discourses on Srimad Bhagavad Puran, and thus I learned Bhagavad from the beginning to the end. In the meantime, I was married. My wife was disciplined, industrious, service-minded, and she cooperated in all my efforts. In this way, 15 years of life passed. Morning and evening worship and prayers, sandhya-vandana, formed part of my daily routine. At the time of my initiation, Malviyaji had told me that Gayatri mantra was Kamdhenu of a Brahman and had enjoined me to at least perform 5 malas of Gayatri jap, chanting the mantra 540 times regularly, and that it was all the more beneficial if more japs could be performed. I kept this direction in mind and followed it regularly and religiously. It was all of a sudden that God's grace descended on me at the age of 15 as if it was pre-planned and predestined. I got an opportunity to dedicate myself single-pointedly towards the realization of my childhood dreams. It was the day of Basant parva. While I was engrossed in worship in my room during the small hours of morning, brahma-muhirta, I saw an aura of light. I was stunned, amazed, and awestruck. I rubbed my eyes to ascertain whether it was a hallucination or something astral like a ghost or a demon, but it was none of these. An astral body of a yogi emerged in the middle of that aura of light. It was astral in the sense that his figure was visible although it was hanging in the empty space with an envelope of light all around it. I was wondering as to who he was. The apparition said, "I have been linked with you and guiding you during your past several lives. Since your childhood is now over, I have come to impart you the necessary guidance. Probably you have no recollection of your past lives, and so you are frightened and amazed. See the events of your past births and remove your doubts." His grace descended on me, and I had a feeling of drowsiness. I experienced for the first time in my life what is known as Yog Nidra, a stage which is also called Jagrat Samadhi. While bathing in that state of elevated consciousness, I had a cinematographic view of actual events of my several past births. I can still vividly recall how a glimpse of that divine personage in the form of waves of light, of whom I am a part and parcel, and who appeared in my room of worship when I was 15 had immediately aroused a host of questions in my mind. Generally, people wander aimlessly in search of Sadguru, spiritual guide, and consider themselves extremely fortunate when they succeed in finding one. But what happened with me was altogether different. I had already been initiated by Mahamana Madan Mohan Malviyaji in Gayatri mantra when I was 8 years of age, and so the question of selecting any other person as guru, spiritual guide, had ended then and there. I had not even imagined of meeting another guru. The miraculous way I was blessed in this manner all of a sudden was a matter of great wonderment for me. Seekers are always in search of a guru, guide. They consider themselves blessed if they happen to meet one. Often they seek from their gurus worldly boons. Then why had the grace of such an elevated soul been suddenly showered on me? Was it a hallucination? Or was something inauspicious or calamitous to befall me? Such fears and doubts passed through my mind after I had the first encounter with the great Guru. He did not feel annoyed and could understand my dilemma. It appeared to me by the cheerful demeanor of his face that he appreciated my suspense. Without wasting time, he introduced himself to me and explained the reason for his appearance by reviving the memory of my past births. It is a normal courtesy that if a person visits somebody's house, the latter wants to know about the former's purpose of visit. The figure in my room of worship, who was enveloped by an aura of light, further said, "Your thinking is correct. Before spending their time and energy, divine souls test the persons with whom they want to establish their soul relationship. They do not appear before any Tom, Dick or Harry to fulfill his fancies. No wise and discerning person ever tries to establish deep relationship with a person without considering his worthiness and eligibility. Several persons consider it beneficial to get linked with great and spiritually resplendent personages, but they forget that no one likes to waste his energy and capabilities over a worthless person. I had been searching through my subtle vision for a fit medium who could be directly instrumental in promoting universal welfare. This body of mine is not physical. A person having physical body has to be made a medium and used as an instrument for action on the physical realm, which cannot be directly done through an astral body. These are critical times, and there are great chances of mankind being grievously harmed and overwhelmed by the forces of darkness. I want to make you a medium to help solve the problems bedeviling humanity. You will get my guidance and cooperation, and your shortcomings will be removed. It is for this purpose that I have come to you. Till now, you were engrossed in your normal life and considered yourself as an ordinary man. These days, nobody believes anyone all of a sudden. Your doubts would not have been properly removed by a mere verbal description of your competence. Therefore, you have been given a vision about past births. After having projected details of some of my past lives, Gurudev indicated how he had lived with me and helped me throughout these past births. He said, "I shall be helping you now and get all that work done through you, which is essential to meet the challenges of the present times." Yogis having only astral bodies cannot establish physical contacts, which is possible only by embodied beings, and hence the former depend for this purpose on the latter. It is good that you are married. These days, it is less advantageous and rather risky to remain unmarried. In ancient times, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Ganesh, Indra, Surya, all were married. The 7 rishis had their wives because for proper organization and administration of gurukuls, both the father and mother are needed. Mother provides food, residence, clothes and affection, while father looks after discipline, teachings, sanctions, etc. Guru is the disciple's father and Guru's wife his mother, according to the Rishi traditions. These days, indolent and scheming people masquerade themselves as religious teachers and saints and mislead the masses. I am very happy that you are married. There may be some interruption, but in due course, you will get your life companion, a person who has lived with you as your life partner in some of your previous lives. She will live with you throughout your life and will play a significant role in your work. You were a householder in 2 of your past 3 lives. Do not think that married life will be a hindrance in your work. In fact, it will be helpful in the present circumstances and it will be conducive to better results in the task of ushering in of a new era for humanity. It was the pre-dawn hour, brahma-muhirta, of the auspicious day of Basant Panchami, and I was busy with my daily routine of worship when I had the concrete vision of the divine personage enveloped in a column of light, and he, on his own, provided answers to all doubts, questions and queries that had been lurking in my mind. I saw my past 3 lives, one after the other, from the beginning till the end, which were all for divine work, and during which I had been instrumental in playing crucial roles in the regeneration and upliftment of the society, and had initiated integrative and inclusive paths of sadhana in tune with the needs of the times under the guidance of that Devatma who was standing before me. All that had earlier appeared to be strange vanished from my mind, and a feeling of deep intimacy, affinity, and gratefulness awakened in my rejuvenated and awakened soul. My family, whom I had considered my kith and kin, appeared to be aligned, and I started regarding this Devatma who was before me in the form of a column of light as the soul of my soul. I felt that my past and future were linked with him. I had no other aspiration and nothing to claim as my own but to follow rigorously and faithfully the directions of my master. This is what is called true surrender. I surrendered myself at that moment to that divine soul and regarded him not only my guide but equivalent to divinity itself. This relationship has been maintained for the past 63 years, and I have been forging ahead wholeheartedly and unhesitatingly on the path indicated by him. No questions or doubts have ever arisen in my mind as to my capability to accomplish his will or what results my efforts will bear. That day I learnt one more lesson, that the grace of divine souls is granted only for public good, for the growth of righteous attitudes and tendency in humanity, and it is not showered on anyone who hankers after fame or material prosperity. These enlightened souls have no kith or kin, opponent or rival. The all-pervading spirit, manifested as soul of humanity, is their deity, and they yoke their chosen and beloved souls in the service of divine in humanity. In the light of this new insight, I at once recollected the master-disciple relationship of Ramakrishna Vivekanand, Samarth Ramdas Shivaji, Chanakya Chandragupta, Gandhi Vinoba, Buddha Ashoka, where however the relationship is based on mere exhibition of funny and frolicsome miracles, it should be construed that a reprehensible tendency like jugglery is going on between the so-called guru and his disciple. Gandh Baba could create smell of any flower. Bagh Baba used to call a tiger in his cottage. Samadhi Baba remained buried under the ground for a number of days. Siddh Baba fulfilled desires of the supplicants. Several such folk tales came to my mind, and I could understand how such people could have been deemed great merely for exhibitions of jugglery of the level of mesmerism. There is nothing spiritual in supernatural feats which an ordinary man cannot perform. Observing silence, taking food by keeping on the hand, keeping a hand always in a raised position, passing time lying on a cradle, and similar other feats are nothing but jugglery. A real saint or his disciple has to tread the ancient path of sadhana propounded by Rishis of devoting one's life for public good, as was done by Kabir, Chaitanya, Samarth Ramdas, Ramakrishna Paramhans, Vivekanand, Dayanand, etc. God is never pleased with those who merely chant His name. He does not need motivated worship or offerings. Chanting of God's name is meaningful only to those who are engaged in beautifying and developing His garden, this universe. These thoughts dominated my mind throughout the day on that Basant parva. The Master clearly advised me that efforts for inner self-growth and self-improvement should go hand in hand with acts of public service. It was also enjoined on me to perform a chain of Gayatri Mahapurusharans during the next 24 years, observing certain rules and restrictions. I was also directed to work like a true volunteer in the country's struggle for independence. Gurudev explained how I should lead my life. He took the reins of my life in his hands, directed and guided it, and crowned my every effort with success. My life, its legacy and message. Hamari Vasiyat or Virasat. Author PtShriramSharmaAcharya.
If you found this video helpful, then please like, comment and share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel Rishi Chintan. Please press the bell icon so that you will receive notifications of our upcoming videos. Thank you.